Hey everybody, Kale Janzen here. Welcome to the Discount Surgeon Show. I'm your host, Kale Janzen, as I've already discussed, and I'm joined by Crash Bandicoot, who put something on my computer, alright.
Kale, you got a problem with Garfield?
Actually, Crash, you sweet little nugget, you. I'm a huge fan of Garfield. I devoted my life to Garfield. I got banned from the entire chain of Kohl's bookstores because of Garfield, and my love for Garfield. I got into a heated argument with the manager and an employee that I could not find Garfield easily, so I went and yelled at him, and I went, "What kind of bookstore doesn't even have Garfield?" And they banned me, and then I went out of my province and found out that I'm banned from all of them, so... And if the employee and or manager that I was arguing with sees this, I'm not sorry. That was the funniest thing that's ever happened to me, and the fact that you could not detect fake anger made it even better. And for showing a false image of our god, Crash, you have to go up here with the third-party Super Nintendo controllers. That's a fate worse than death for those keeping track at home. There's death, watching Mean Girls 2, Doolittle, going up there with the third-party Super Nintendo controllers. Yeah, it's pretty bad. So, you're probably wondering, what the hell was all that about then? Why the hell are you still talking? And I'm here to tell you about this magical little device that you probably have heard about. This is a PSP. And it is probably the first handheld gaming system I ever had, and the first system I ever owned brand new, because I got a PS2 from my dad, but I think I got this for my 6th birthday? I don't remember. I was a kid. Kids are stupid. Kids don't think, hey, you're gonna make YouTube videos later, so remember the exact day you got your PlayStation Portable. I should get this off my screen. That's better. So as I was saying, this is the PSP, and it's a remarkable little device considering it sold 80 to 82 million units and is considered a failure. I mean, that's not a failure. The PS Vita and Wii U are failures, and this thing sold 6 times the Wii U and anywhere from 8 to 5 times the Vita. So, like, I don't know, man. This is I mean, considering it went up against the juggernaut that is the DS, which is still the second highest selling video game console of all time, it's like, I don't know. I mean, is this a failure? Like, I mean, its whole goal was to push Nintendo out of the handheld market, and considering the DS nearly doubled this baby, I guess it's a failure, but how could that be? This thing could play PS1 games. The DS couldn't play SNES games, not in the original form. This fucking SNES slot was too big! It's gotta be something. And using the ancient scrolls of the internet, I found out that it was the marketing. AKA, I sent a message to my friend Ashton asking, why did the PSP fail? And he said, the marketing. And he told me to look up 2 ads in particular. So, the first one is called the Squirrel ad. I assume that's not the official title, but how bad could it be? I like squirrels, they're pretty cute. Except in Doolittle. The revenge squirrel plot went nowhere. Alright, so... PSP squirrel ad. Let's put on my Sony brand headphones. Not sponsored, I just like Sony products. My camera's a Sony product. I've been a PlayStation kid since birth, so that's probably why. Jesus Christ, my cable management is terrible. Look at this. This is not healthy cable management. Don't do this! I should fix this, but I'm not going to because I'm lazy. Also, look at my awful rig. I really gotta get a better one. Enough of that though. That was a huge tangent, and it's going to probably happen again because I have no patience, and as a reviewer, I'm going to acknowledge that. My 2 biggest flaws are I have no patience and I'm a huge idiot. PSP ad, let's go. Squirrels.
Come out and play! I can't! I'm playing Nut! But there's Portable Nut! What? Yeah! It's a nut you can play with outside!
PSP. It's like a nut you can play with outside.
Every once in a while, you come across something that makes you wonder why you exist. I need to be protected. I put this helmet on so I could be safe. And there's the second ad. It's called Hell's Yeah. Let's watch it, I guess. They made a nut joke. And they were playing the broken Madden 06 port that would crash the entire system. They're still racist. And now they're making the very stereotypical racist black slang and speech patterns, and they're making the jokes a stereotype would make. What the hell, Sony? Hell's yeah. More like, hell's no. More like whoever came up with that ad needs to go to hell. They did it twice. They did racism twice! How do you do racism twice? I feel like there's some political joke I can make here. But I'm just numb. I don't even know why anymore. This isn't the character anymore. This is a genuine, just emotional breakdown. What the fuck? They're talking about movies, the internet. Yeah, it'd be nice if you weren't a racist caricature. Alright. What's next? There's gotta be something good in all of this. There's gotta be one good ad. All I want for Christmas is a PSP is not that. So, for those of you who are unaware of what exactly this music video came from, this was not an ad that aired on television. It was a viral marketing campaign. Sony hired Zipatoni, who rebranded in 2014, presumably to get away from this. Probably not, because it didn't affect them in the long run, but they hired Zipatoni to create this blog called All I Want for Christmas is a PSP.com, but Christmas was spelled Xmas because they wanted to be cool and funky fresh, just like a sitcom dad. And, you know, they made all these blog posts from Charlie, who is posting like, oh, give my friend Jeremy a PSP for Christmas, his mom and dad, so that we can play video games together, bro. Funky fresh, and there's a ton of, like, no vowels, like a bunch of stuff that I don't think anybody has ever used on the internet, like next without the E. Why wouldn't you type in the E? Like, I know that's probably not what the big thing is here, and it's that Sony was pretending to be teenage boys, but you know. And then this video from Cousin Pete. Please tell me who Cousin Pete actually is. This infamous rap video that I absolutely adore, and it's the only song I've ever danced to. Here's a clip of me dancing to it. The worst grammar imaginable. Their response was the worst thing. Here's the deal. Busted, nailed, snagged. As many of you have figured out, maybe our speech was a little too funky fresh. Sony, you devils. Peter isn't a real hip-hop maven, and this site was actually developed by Sony. Ha ha ha, except it wasn't. It was Zipatoni. Guess we're trying to be just a little too clever. From this point forward, we will just stick to making cool products and use this site to give you nothing but facts on the PSP. And they never posted again. And the site was taken down like a month later. But hey, the rap video is at least good. Please tell me who that guy is. I want to find him. Please. I just want to be his friend. I just want to give him money. Make him make a sequel about the Vita. Just kidding. Nobody knows what a Vita is. But I want to make a sequel, please. About how all he got for Christmas was a PSP, and the absolute absurdity of him fanning himself with bills, being very clearly able to buy a PSP for himself, and having the frame for the thing, but not just buying the PSP, and the fact that he doesn't want games. Like, I don't know. It's something. You should think about it. Get in contact with me. Tell him to email me. I'll put my email up eventually. Probably not. But he can leave a comment and I'll contact him. And then he'll go. We'll make a documentary. We'll make an interview. We'll make a podcast. Yeah, you should talk with me because what else am I going to do? You're like the best thing ever. Here's another clip of me dancing.
For Shizzy, PSP, PSP, PSP. All I want for Christmas is my PSP. Wanna play when I'm walking down the street. All I want for Christmas is my PSP. Come on, mom and dad.
I don't know what I want to do now. I just begged for some guy who made a video in 2006 to do an interview with me. I'm not even sure if that was a joke or not, because I actually want to be the guy to interview him, but, you know. So why don't we just talk about the PSP itself, if I can figure out where I put the little bastard. Actually, I know where it is. And please stand by. I will put something up on the screen here that's kind of funny, kind of stupid, you know, clever. I'll be right back. I'm back. I got Super Mario World. I'm putting it in the air. I'm going to push the button to see if it works. You know, I'm really not expecting... Huh. So after that baffling ordeal, that totally wasn't because of homebrew emulators. I totally just made the SNES cartridge work in a PSP. Don't even look up homebrew PSP emulators because they don't exist. There's no homebrew community for it at all. There's especially not like some huge one that like is still making games and software and all of this fun jazz. Like there isn't like a fan-made port of Cave Story that they made on there. There isn't any of it because there's no homebrew community for the PSP. Okay, I lied. There's a homebrew community for the PSP, and it's exactly what I just described. However, the best part of the homebrew PSP community is the ability to use it as a controller for your PC, which is really good for getting footage for games that were built around the PSP, and so any other control method is a hell to use. But speaking of games, let's talk about the games on the PSP, because there's Metal Gear Peace Walker, which, you know, is apparently a fantastic game. You know, I've played through the entire thing, and I can understand that it's a fantastic game, but why the controls? There are, like, 3 different options for controls, and none of them are that great. There's the option to aim with aim with the L button and fire with the R button, which would work fine. Except that, you know, you have to switch weapons and stuff with the D-pad and move the camera with the face buttons. Why? It could be solved by just flipping it around. Or the one that lets you, you know, use your right hand only to play, which it works, but it's still not ideal. And then there's the Monster Hunter Freedom series, and I just don't like the Monster Hunter Freedom controls either. Like, I get that it's hard to make a game like Metal Gear work on the PSP, but Metal Gear Portable Ops worked fine, and I mean, I can't really complain because Peace Walker set the basis for, you know, Metal Gear Solid 5, which, you know, introduced the Fox engine, which then made Metal Gear Survive. yeah, let's not talk about Peace Walker anymore. Um, However, next up was Ratchet and Clank Size Matters, and along with Secret Agent Clank, it was one of my favorite games on the PSP. It was almost on the level of PS2. However, the PS2 ports were very negatively received because, portable games on home consoles, they have to be upscaled, and I don't think they did that. I think that was part of it, and also, it was built around portable play, so it's really not that great for a home console. You're sitting down, you're relaxing after a hard day of school, or, sleeping with your mistress, whatever you're doing. I think that's part of it. But you could also play, again, like almost the entire good library of PS1 games, and, that means that I can play the original Crash trilogy on the go before the Switch did it. I can play CTR on the go before the Switch did it, and I can play, Wait a sec, there's a Soul Calibur game? Yeah, there is. Oh boy! It's a Soul Calibur game. There isn't a lot to say about it. It's just as fluid and fun as ever. However, it has Kratos, which makes it interesting, because that means that, since Kratos also appeared in Mortal Kombat 9, Kratos is the first character to be shared between Soul Calibur and Mortal Kombat, with Spawn being the second. Spawn appearing in the Xbox version of Soul Calibur 2. There's also the Daxter game, which is a blast. It's PS2 quality, and it's really bad that it was never ported to the PS2. There's tons of collectibles. There's a whole Pokemon-style mini-game. There's, these dream sequences that parody movies, and it's really clever. It's really fun. There's these fun vehicle segments. I don't know if it's just nostalgia, but replaying it, I absolutely adore it. It made Daxter not annoying, which is something that the Jak games had a problem with. And speaking of Jak, it also got Lost Frontier. And I like Lost Frontier. I don't know about anybody else, but it was fun. I almost 100%ed it. And speaking of my boy Crash Bandicoot, who's still up there being punished for his sins, there was also Crash of the Titans, and I adore Crash of the Titans. I could not find out if Mind Over Mutant was released on the PSP, but Tag Team Racing was. Speaking of Tag Team Racing, he goes in the jar now. Up there. In fact, no, he can't even fit. Yeah, he can fit up there. But you know who gets to sit down in front of him? Emperor Palpatine gets to go right. Emperor Palpatine gets to go up right there. And you know what else? I really hate Tag Team Racing. He's being punished for his sins. I'm not even a big fan of Star Wars. Speaking of which, The Rise of Skywalker was all fan service, which is probably why I didn't like it, because I'm not a big fan of Star Wars. I'll watch it, but I'm more a fan of, TV shows, I guess. I don't know. It's just me talking while I try and find a certain card in this deck. In fact, I'll probably just cut this out and zoom in on me putting up, and zoom in on Crash Bandicoot's new punishment. I don't know, it depends on how it flows in the video, I guess. So, I don't know, I'm just gonna keep looking, keep talking. Jabba the Hutt gets to go up right here. He gets to go up right beside Palpatine. And if I can find Chewie, if I can find the picture of Chewbacca, I'm going to put it up there because, oh my god, you don't deserve anybody paying attention to you after Tag Team Racing. It's an atrocious, way too easy, barely functioning sometimes fucking game. And I played it on the GameCube. Racing, it was up against Double Dash. Why didn't you try anything? I can't find it, so you know what? You can play 52 pickup after we're done, Crash. Fuck you. God of War. There are 2 God of War games on the PSP, and both of them were fantastic. Chains of Olympus, which is set right before God of War 1, and sets the stage for the rest of the series, is the first God of War game I ever played, the first one I ever beat, and I loved it. I did not understand what the sex minigame was until like 2 years ago, but whatever. I still think it's a fantastic game. It looks great on the PSP, and I'm really happy it got an HD remaster. It's just as fun on the console, and yeah, it's a little lacking compared to the main games, but come on, it was made for the PSP. But Ghost of Sparta tops it in every way. Like, I mean, it's the PS2 quality game, and again, it got an HD remaster, it's just gorgeous. And it was set right between God of War 1 and 2, filling some of the cracks of that game, and it's why Zeus is so pissed off mad at his dad. It's not just because, Zeus, sorry, not Zeus, Kratos. I'm leaving that in because I thought Kratos was Zeus. Wait, did I say that? I don't even remember anymore. Oh well, I'm leaving this in. It's kind of funny. I'm laughing on the inside. I don't experience real emotions in the real world. Somebody help me. The PSP ads made me numb. Balls. I need a footing. You should all be my friend now. But anyways, yeah, it's why Kratos is so mad at his dad, Zeus. He's like, Zeus, you put my brother on an island, and you with like the guy who gave the planet fire. And Zeus was like, oh yeah, because I thought he was going to kill me. Well, no, I'm going to kill you. Fuck you, Dad. And the continued adventures of the steroid abuse joke without a punchline went on until the punchline finally happened in the 2018 God of War, which is a fantastic game, and I'll have to talk about that more at some point. But this is about the PSP, not the PS4. I think that about does it for, games I want to talk about. And what else is there to talk about the PSP? Or the fact that it could play movies. This thing can't play movies. It can play them on Netflix, but you can't put like discs in there. I could get a UMD copy of The Karate Kid. I could get a very compressed version of a movie I don't like that much. And not the original, the Jaden Smith version. You get Superbad though, and I really like Superbad. So without further ado, if you like this video, leave a like. If you didn't like this video, dislike it and leave a comment. Tell me what I did wrong. And if you want to see more videos, subscribe, because why not? I'd like to thank Sony for inventing the PSP. I'd like to thank Sony for making my camera, Sony for making my headphones, and Ashton Bourgeois for making the song that's going to play right now. Hey everybody, Kale here. As you can see, I'm a man of class, culture, and style, so I'd really like to thank you for watching this video. I'd like to thank my friend Ashton J.